Coming up next on City Beat, downtown Las Cruces has been drawing in lots of people, and with all the renovations, state leaders are beginning to take notice too. Byrne Lake is closed to the public, but it'll be much more improved when it opens. We'll show you what the city is working on and what changes you'll see. Hundreds of trees have been planted in Las Cruces parks this summer. We'll introduce you to the green teams that are making our parks look great, and tens of thousands books to check in and out. Come visit the library with us for the latest segment of City Jobs. That's all coming up here on City Beat. Hello, I'm Denise LaFrance. Welcome to City Beat for the month of August. Many years of planning, design, and hard work have gone into the renovation of Las Cruces downtown. With much still to be accomplished, the city is already receiving kudos for reinvigorating the area. Governor Susana Martinez and Economic Development Secretary John Barela presented the city of Las Cruces and the Downtown Las Cruces partnership with the Cabinet Secretary Award for Community Economic Development.
I mean, this is a part of the town I didn't come to very often. I have several shops now that this is where I come to. They have some great facilities here. I was here just yesterday, my sister and I getting a pedicure.
Now downtown Las Cruces, with the help of businesses, city leaders, and residents, continues to grow as a destination of choice. Byrne Lake has been changing for a few years, and some new additions are making the park a little more attractive, including new lighting. CLC TV's Jennifer Martinez takes us through the changes.
It hasn't looked like your typical Las Cruces park for a couple of weeks, but all this recent construction activity means great news for the future of Byrne Lake.
The city is very committed to making Byrne Lake into a useful and beautiful recreation facility for the city of Las Cruces, for residents and visitors alike. And it's seen better days, but it will see better days to come.
The city council, planners, and designers are focusing on several parts of the park to enhance.
And probably by early next fall, we'll have phase 2 completed with a walking trail, a group picnic shelter, new retaining walls, new ADA ramp to an observation point, new lawns, and also additional plantings and irrigation.
The city is hoping the park amenities, like the walking path or shelters, will appeal to the people who used to visit the park solely for the lake. But it also hopes the public will understand it's not just up to the city to keep the lake full. Mother Nature plays a big part.
There are 3 sources of water for Byrne Lake, and one is groundwater. The other is stormwater, because Byrne Lake is an integral part of our stormwater system. And then also there's a potential for surface water to be introduced into Byrne Lake, but all of those sources have been very scarce recently.
This place may be called Byrne Lake, but there's a lot more to this park than just a lake. The city is working at revamping the area, including a system of lighting for the soccer field.
I believe 2008 August, one of the light pole fell during the winter storm, and we start to investigate what's going on.
From there, all the lights were determined to have some safety issues, and they all could have used a little enhancement. In July, the soccer fields were closed and these new lights were put up. There are fewer poles than before, from 12 down to 6.
We are using latest technology, so that's why we're going to have just 6 light head instead of the 12 light head. And then also we will use the state-of-the-art control technology, so we can save a lot of energy consumption.
The project has come with a $415,000 price tag, but peace of mind that wear and tear on other soccer fields will lessen.
We still play soccer out here on these fields, just during the daytime, of course. And with the introduction of these new sports field lighting, we'll have a lot more soccer out here as well. It gives us a great opportunity to have nighttime games as well as daytime games. And so this field will see a lot more use in the coming years.
The fields should be back open and used by September. The city is using poles with cement bases to keep these lights from the possibility of falling again. For City Beat, I'm Jennifer Martinez.
Thank you, Jennifer. 500 trees are making Las Cruces parks greener, and they're helping the environment. CLC TV's Adrian Guzman gives us a look behind the scenes as crews work through rain or shine to get these trees in the ground.
On this rainy summer morning in Las Cruces, you would expect to find most teenagers enjoying their summer vacation by sleeping in or glued to a television. But this group of high school students, known simply as the Green Team, are rolling up their sleeves in an effort to beautify the community, all while helping to protect the environment.
They're 14 through 18 years old. We did some recruiting at Oñate High School, and we have some kids from Mayfield and from Gadsden. For groundwork, we're trying to connect the youth to the environment. And so it's about exposing them to different aspects of it. So right now we're doing the tree planting, and we also have other projects to expose them to different environmental issues.
Teresa Nunez is project coordinator with Groundwork de Oneana. This nonprofit organization has received a grant to provide summer jobs to area students in an effort to plant hundreds of trees throughout Las Cruces.
So we're planting 500 trees in 8 different locations.
The 500 trees are being donated by the city of Las Cruces, and they come from the nursery. They're going to 8 different parks around Las Cruces.
I like it. It's fun learning to do new things and meeting all these wonderful people.
Well, I'm personally really amazed with the work that they do, and I love working with them. They're very enthusiastic and just motivated with their work.
The first couple days suck. Like, you go home and you just want to sleep for like hours, but after that you get used to it, and it's just kind of like a second thing, and then you just like, or like whatever, you know?
But even if you get tired, you feel accomplished.
Yeah.
I'm tired because I worked.
And what teenager doesn't need to learn the value of a hard-earned dollar?
Well, I didn't have any money, and then I started working, so now I have my own money. Don't have to be borrowing and stuff from my parents, so it's a good way to get independent.
Though extra cash is always nice, the most important lesson of the day might simply be the feeling of self-accomplishment.
You feel like accomplished, you know, and that you're kind of making a difference. It sounds really cheesy, but it's kind of true. And it's kind of cool. You're like, oh yeah, I planted that tree. Like, you actually did something this summer.
Adrian Guzman, CLC TV.
Thank you, Adrian. A newly constructed walkway near Mesilla is enticing bikers and walkers. The Tierra Verde Trail, which guides Las Cruces into Mesilla, was dedicated recently, showing off the collaboration between the city of Las Cruces, the town of Mesilla, and the Elephant Butte Irrigation District. The ADA-compliant trail was built by Parks and Rec staff and street crews for about $70,000. Elephant Butte Irrigation District allowed for the trail to be built in its right-of-way, and the conceptual plan was donated by former city landscape architect Joni Gutierrez. The project has been turned over to the town of Mesilla for maintenance. Brannigan Memorial Library is home to more than 100,000 books, and with thousands of borrowers a week, keeping the books in order is a tough job. We'll go behind the book drop in this edition of City Jobs.
In this edition of City Jobs, we're at Thomas Brannigan Library, where you can check out 160,000 books or media items. Today we're going to get a look at what goes on here at the library. We'll start out first by finding out what happens when you drop off your book. This morning we're here with Trinidad Hasso, who's going to explain to us what he does on a day-to-day basis here at the library. Can you give us an idea at first, when you walk in through the doors, what are some of the first things you do?
Well, I get here about 7:30 in the morning, and the first thing I do is I come over here to the book drop, get the books out, and check them in for the day.
So this is where people will come overnight or after hours to leave the books that they've checked out?
Yeah, exactly.
How many books do you normally find here when you get here in the morning?
In the morning, it depends on the day. Mondays it's packed. It's like overflowing, literally overflowing. And like throughout the rest of the days, probably about 50 to 100.
And this is something that you actually check a few times a day or a couple times a day?
Yeah, a few times a day. I do it, like I said, at 7:30, then I'll get it again at about 11, then after that, it gets done about every 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, let's show us what you do.
Sure. I just grab it, take this out, switch these around.
So you have them waiting just in case.
Yeah, the reason I do that is because as I take this one, more books are going to be coming in, so I just do that.
So where are we taking these books?
We're coming to the electronic book sorter over here. That's what I do. I just set it here, and I'll let you do this.
Okay, what
Just
is it
click it.
exactly that it's doing?
It's going to check in the books for us.
Okay, and we're right here at the front of the library, so this is where people, when they don't drop their books in the overnight drop, they can come here and do this
Yeah,
themselves.
people can just walk in and do this without putting them outside.
Okay, so we just, is there a way to feed it in?
Yeah, what you want to do first is you want to hit whether you want it English or Spanish.
We'll go with English here.
Okay, you got the green light, so just put it there.
Does it
just
matter
set it in
which?
there. Nope, that's fine like that. And you'll get the red light. When it turns green again, you grab the next one and put it in.
Okay, so if you have it this way or this way, it doesn't matter, right?
Does not matter. But I mean, some of the books obviously won't fit that way because they're too big, but pretty much all of them will fit.
Okay, and then on the other side. Okay, so what do we do when we get here?
Well, once I bring the cart, I look through it because everything's broken down to different sections. Like this cart is for the kids. This is broken down to fiction, nonfiction, biographies, large print, graphic novels, and we've got YA behind you. So what I do is I grab all the YA books first.
And what are you looking for when you say YA?
Now there's a sticker right here that says YA. Young adult.
Oh, so they're easily identified.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
YA, here's like this is a kid's book, like a little kid right there. Large print, obviously says large print. And that's about it. And then of course, I got the 3 decimal for nonfiction. And fiction, it just says fiction with the author's last name.
Okay, so it just gets broken up into those different sections, goes onto
exactly.
different
Yeah,
shelves. And then from here to here, how long does it take before they're back out on the library floor?
It depends. Like you can see, like right now, it's kind of a little bit backed up. So once I get all this stuff and that gets totally filled up, then that's when we start like taking all the G's and I go shelve them, or all the nonfiction. If it's slow, I'll just put everything on a cart and just take it all at one time.
And how many people actually do this during the day? Are you the only
I'm
one
the
that does
only
it?
one.
You are the guy.
I'm here, and then there's a lady that comes in the evenings too. So.
Now we're in the children's section with Sandy Van Landingham, and we have a lot going on here in the Children's Center. And one of the things we would like to highlight is the Computers for Children.
Yes.
What do we call this program?
This is called the AW Early Literacy Station, and they're loaded with a number of software, really appropriate for very early childhood, up to probably about the age of 10, I'd say.
So you're saying maybe 4 to 5 years old that they would start on here?
Even
or
as young as 3, they can do. They have touch screens. They're also bilingual, which is really nice. So you can toggle back and forth between English and Spanish if you'd like. You don't have to have a library card to work on these. All we ask is that you sign up at the desk, and that way we can keep account of how many kids we have.
Every time I've been to the library, I've seen this area full. So this is a very popular
It is
program.
very popular, yeah. That's why we have to run a sign-up list. But the kids get 30 minutes.
Oh, they're time limited?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you find that they're waiting in line?
Oh yeah,
sometimes?
during the summer, during peak times, it can get pretty messy, which is why you have to run your list.
Now, we usually do reading with the children, correct? Where does that usually happen?
During the school year, we usually do it in our Kiva, which is the program area right behind us, but because we have such large groups during the summer, we have to move it upstairs to the Roadrunner room.
And how many kids do you think you have on a usual basis during the summertime?
For Read to Me, the program we're going to do today, we were averaging probably about 80 people. So that's kids and adults.
On an average day, about 1,000 books are checked into and out of the library, and about 1,000 visitors come to check out the books, magazines, or even use the computer lab. With about 40 employees here at the library, it seems things are running rather smoothly, whether they're helping people get library cards, check out books, or just getting more information. So if you haven't been to Brannigan Library in a while, you might want to come on, check out the friendly staff, or check out a good book.
If there is a city job you'd like to learn more about, contact us at clctv.com. The city of Las Cruces is already planning for closures for the Labor Day holiday. This and more in our City Minute. Mark your calendar that Monday, September 2nd, most city offices will be closed. Those include Brannigan Memorial Library, Roadrunner Transit Bus and Dial-A-Ride services, all aquatic centers, Mearshite and East Mesa Recreation Centers, Frank O'Brien Papin, East Side, Henry Benavides, and Mesilla Park Community Centers. Regular business hours will resume on Tuesday, September 3rd. Music in the Park continues through the month of August at Young Park. On August 4th, get ready for Latin jazz and chamber music. It's Oldies on August 11th, then Bluegrass for the 16th, an American funk rock band, and jazz to finish out the season on the 25th. Remember, all performances are free and begin at 6 p.m. Last year, more than 10,000 Las Cruces kids rode the bus to and from school each day. Kids head back to class this month, and they need you and other drivers to help ensure their safety. Remember to slow down around bus stops and school zones and prepare to stop. Yellow flashing lights mean buses plan to stop. Red flashing lights mean buses have stopped, and children are either getting on or off the bus. And the report card is in for Las Cruces Public Schools, and overall LCPS showed a significant improvement in the A through F grades it received last school year. A new school year is now underway for Las Cruces students. That's our topic for the August edition of Ask the. Here's our host, CLC TV's Udell Vigil.
With me for this month's edition of ASTA is Mike Cook, Communications Director for Las Cruces Public Schools. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Udell, it's a pleasure to be here.
Among the most noticeable changes taking place this school year are the reconstruction of Las Cruces High School and the renovation of Loma Heights Elementary. Can you tell us a little bit about those operations?
Absolutely. Overall, of course, Udell, as you know, maintaining properties is one of the main functions of an organization like the city or the school district. We have right now 39 schools. Some of them are 50 or 60 years old. We continue to build new ones as the need arises, but we also renovate the school facilities that we have. It's careful use of the bond dollars that the voters in this district approve every few years. Las Cruces High School is in the process of about an $80 million renovation that's going on right now. We started this summer. It'll continue for about the next 3 years. I think in the case of Las Cruces High School and the major work going on at Loma Heights Elementary, if people will check our website, we have information about the construction. We'll be tracking particularly Las Cruces High School because it's on El Paseo and at some point will impact traffic. It won't in the foreseeable future, but lascrucesschools.org is the website, and we have a link on our homepage to Cruces High School and then additional information that we update regularly on all the construction projects so people will know how their bond dollars are being spent.
So Mike, what do parents and students need to know as far as, say, going to Las Cruces High School while construction is going on? What, anything in particular that they need to do different?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, while construction is going on at any school, particularly right now, as I said, Las Cruces High School and Loma Heights Elementary School, safety is the #1 concern. Mm-hmm. The secondary concern then, of course, is that we are able to continue classroom instruction and that students are able to participate in all kinds of activities. Obviously, there's more at the high school than in elementary, but that's something we want to be able to continue as much as possible. So we have plans in place. The major thing that people will see for Cruces High School and Loma Heights Elementary both is student drop-off and pickup, and student and staff parking. There are maps, or there will be shortly on our website, which again is lascrucesschools.org, and people can check to make sure. They can also call the schools to confirm any kinds of changes that are going on. But mostly for the foreseeable future, it's going to be parking and student drop-off.
Okay, so going to class or conducting school business as usual probably won't be impacted by the operations, or not
Obviously,
much.
there's some impact. There has to be, because these are both major construction, multi-million-dollar construction projects. But the major goal is to make that impact as little as possible so that kids continue to get the education they need.
Wonderful. And then another, I guess you could say, noticeable change is AstroTurf at Field of Dreams.
Right. The school board approved that in June, and it's about an $800,000 project. The project is going on right now, and we should have the artificial turf installed. The deadline, the scheduled deadline is about the 15th of August, which means we'll have it in place for the first football game at the Field of Dreams. There's a couple of considerations. One of them is it'll save in the neighborhood of about 25 million gallons of water a year.
Wonderful.
Which is enormous.
Yes.
So it's
especially in the drought.
Absolutely, and in the desert environment, it's certainly an ecologically sound move. People have concerns, obviously, always about injuries and student safety, and all the research we've been able to do, and there's a great deal of information available in New Mexico and across the United States on turf, the process they go through to make it as safe as possible, and excuse me, the fact that kids won't be playing on a dirt field, as sometimes there's issues with grass needing to be filled in. It'll also give us a great opportunity to use the Field of Dreams throughout the year, because once the season was over, we couldn't use it in the summer for bands or school activities or community activities because we were regrowing the grass. Now with the turf, we'll replace that about every 12 years, and we'll be able to use the field year-round, and we think it will contribute in the short term and in the long run to student safety as well.
Yeah, smart move.
Absolutely.
And then finally, year-round, you're always looking for school supplies. There are always a certain number of students who aren't able to get everything they need. Can you tell us what it is you're looking for and where people can drop these supplies off?
Absolutely. In the broadest context, there's roughly 24,500 students in our 39 schools. Right around 2/3, 2 out of every 3, are classified as on the free and reduced lunch program, which is the federal government's one of its major measures of poverty. We have some elementary schools with free and reduced lunch as high as 90%. So we deal with a great deal of economic need in this school district. One of the major needs is always for school supplies. We're trying to collect school supplies for about 600 kids, because one of the major impacts that can be really negative for a little kid is to come to school on the first day and all of his or her classmates have all the stuff they need and this little kid doesn't. And we try to make sure in every case that doesn't happen. We have social workers led by Yoli Silva who are just my favorite people in the whole district. They do the most amazing things for kids in need. And if a kid doesn't have school supplies, doesn't have a winter coat, doesn't eat well, he or she is not going to learn. And we focus on getting kids to school on time every day. These are such important aspects of that. School supply donations, there's a couple of news releases on our website, again on the Back to School page, LasCrucesSchools.org, that talk about some of the specific things we need. There are a couple of organizations collecting clothes as well, some of the basic clothing items. Anything anybody wants to contribute in terms of new school supplies, we'd be happy to take. They can drop them off at the superintendent's office, and please look at our website for additional information about that.
All right, terrific. Anything else you care to share about the upcoming school year?
We think it'll be a great year. We have some terrific initiatives. We're seeing some improvement in our school grades and our test scores, which the major point there is we think they're trending in the right direction. We're at about 96% attendance on a daily basis. That, as I said a moment ago, is one of our major focuses. We want our parents, we want to work with our parents and our kids to get students, every student, to school on time every day, because otherwise they can't learn. There's tremendous new initiatives. We think it's going to be a great year.
All right. Well, Mike Cook, thank you for joining us, Communication Coordinator for Las Cruces Public Schools. Denise, back to you.
That's all for this episode of City Beat. Remember, tune in for live City Council meetings right here Mondays at 1 p.m. You can also watch all archived meetings and programs on clctv.com. And don't forget to like us on our Facebook page. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denise Lafrance.